Hello everyone, this is Cookies, and I've got a new turn of the second game of the second round of Lucid's tournament. Let's go ahead and jump into it. Alright, yeah, until new wars start, it's going to be pretty slow, so let's go ahead and hop into it. I think we've talked to death a lot of the Diplo, so this one might be pretty quick, unless we see some stuff moving around on the strategic map. This should be a successful raid for TNG. Oh, good grief. Alright. I think we're just going to call that one. Alright. In Dumna, we've got another small TNG raid. Good to see some life in them, even as they're getting coalition to death. So, although this is a lot of Ichthids. But yeah, really appreciate, like, when players are getting knocked out if they fight to the end. It can definitely have a very dramatic impact on diplomacy and game state, even though it might not feel like it. Let's see. Could be in terms of tempo, attrition. Even the very controversial Death Basket. But yeah, this White Mage Thug should be able to take this too. So I think that's 3 successful raids for TNG. You should get a fair amount of income out of this. Got another little mounted scout squad. This is a lot of Earthbound though. As long as the cross... Oh gosh. The PD targeting the commanders is very disconcerting. Do these guys have decent armor? Not really. Versus short bows, at least. Looks like the PD is routed, though. I'm kind of curious how long these guys can go before they fatigue out. Because it is, I think, 5 fatigue each time. Oh, they're already there. Okay. So it might be a little bit slower. Although if I remember right, you get something like 5 fatigue back when you pass out, which is the cost of recasting. So I'm not sure that it's actually slowing anything down. But Calum does have magic weapons on these troops. Well, or not, because they're not blessed. So they're just pummeling everything to death by sheer volume of attacks. Alright, Calum takes that one. Let's see. So loses 4 Earthbound and a commander. Kills the 3 mounted scouts. So doesn't get any of the gear. Alright, this is Calum's Doom stack. I almost said squad, but it's a stack. And it's making a move to put TNG out of the game. A lot of Raven Guard, a lot of magic weapon lances, although they're gosh, they're starving and diseased. Okay. Well, a lot of them are gonna die, and the morale across the board is gonna be pretty bad. Let's see. but they should be plenty capable of killing this. It does gem bait, though, impressively. So we've got Army of Mist and Army of Bronze. So we got I think this is our first 9 that we've spotted. So a lot of these guys getting bumped up to 20-ish protection. They do get a shock vulnerability. So it would be interesting to see Wrathful Skies get called down on the birds. Although Army of Mist would help against that, it would negate one of the attacks. But I think a big Thunder Strike, because of the vulnerability, would just remove a lot of Army of Mist. Or even like little lightning bolts would do pretty well. Okay, oh, we do have the cat here too. Okay. I didn't even notice. There were so many birds. Okay, so he's got regen. Buff script is personal regen, astral shield, and that's all he's gotten so far. He's been interrupted. That said, unless there's stuff on advancing cast, I think the Raven is. So the Raven should maybe drain life or disintegrate or something. We've got a fair number of Harab Elders, I guess. Let's go ahead and see how this goes. If mages don't creep forward, this cat could kill a tremendous number of birds. Okay, it's not routed, it's just facing the other way. Let's go ahead and speed this up a little bit. Got some illusions coming in. And this is where the starving and with the starving morale debuff can come in. Because the cat does have a fear aura. Okay, we did get a hero move in. So, Earth Grip, Syllable of Death, Earth Grip again. I mean, that's a choice. Petrify, there we go. It is up at 26 MR. Magic bonus, so maybe did Iron Will or something. Or resist magic. Petrified again. Now this Fear Aura should still be doing some work, even if the cat's petrified. Here comes the Drain Life spam. And Raise Dead. The regen might be enough to resist. And we get an HP route. It looks like the big bird squad's routed. Well, that was well spotted by TNG. Alright, we'll have to... I wonder if TNG cut retreat routes, and that was the other raids. So we'll have to see how many got away. In terms of the battle itself, this was Coast Haven. Only 22 casualties. Killed a Celestial Master, General. So actually up in kill count for the battle. Okay. Let's say storming Ufenred. We've got man. 3 companies of crossbows. The boar, and I'm assuming gifts from heaven. Oh, all these mages were scripted to retreat. Got Hal. Okay, so rather than gifts from heaven, maybe trying to put the communion to sleep using air elementals. And then also using the air elementals to clear the wall people. Alright, still got gifts from heaven though. There we go. Get the route now. Ugh. Sorry about that. It's kind of late at night. It's like 9 p.m. my time. Alright. So does nab a Magister. The 6 Masters of the Way retreated off for the most part. And then in Cavern Realm, alright, the peasants score a kill, get some of their blood slaves back. Then we have an indie attack on Felden Forest. Another undead attack. There's a lot of stuff here, though. I do wonder if it gem baits. I think that's the only question. If the Kushi get in there, a fair number of them could die. Alright. So the independents score 1 friendly fire kill, it looked like. I know it says 8 here, but I think that was all on something. I don't know. Only 1 Kushi died, so. Alright. Maybe a little bit of a replay bug. Or my brain just isn't working. Alright, so we've got the hulls here. Still an independent TNG fort. Otherwise, everything seems reasonably peaceful. We've got... Let's see. So this was the battle on Coast Haven. So TNG keeps this fort open, collects income from it. And cut some of the retreat routes. So it's about 440. I mean, if the scouting report is accurate... yeah, if the scouting report's accurate, Caleb might have lost 70, so 510. Maybe lost 100 troops in the retreat. Which is significant. And they're probably still starving here. Birds eat a lot. So yeah, they'll have to decide if they want to make another stab at Coast Haven or if they want to go for TNG. But this war, I guess, is going to continue at a minimum if everything else goes right for Caleb. We've got 1 turn pop, take, so that's 2 turns, move, and maybe 1 turn pop, and then take, so 4 turns. And then maybe some raiding action. Okay. So. And then where's the hulls? Where does that leave? Okay, so that's actually likely going to go to man if Caleb's not pushing for it. So we've got a man army here about to head downstairs. It's got a bunch of long dead. And man's finally getting some of the territory he wanted. Made up for some of the Pyrean losses. But it is turn 52 now. He might be hopelessly outscaled at this point, but there's always more room to come back in a game. So we do have a couple assassinations. So we've got a bougie Blackheart assassin. This crossbow gets lucky and snipes the scout. Nope. And then it looks like a second somewhat bougie assassin. Okay. Actually, I do want to see the kit on this guy again. Is it the same kit? It kind of, yeah, it looks like the same kit. 22 hit points, 17 prot, decent resist, has a water elemental, and a short bow. Not bad. I'm assuming he has Astral in the fort, and man might not be set up to do Mind Hunt. So might have to legitimately try to kill that water elemental with bodyguards of some kind, and then try to push through and kill the scout, or maybe bait the assassins by moving the boar down here and moving a lot of the other commanders out. There's definitely some different things you can do. But otherwise, I don't know. Man is on the up and up a little bit. They're getting a chance to recruit mages. I'm sure their research isn't great, given how much they've had to deploy those mages. But, I mean, they're up some territory now. They might get another fort. There's a fair amount of gem income here, Throne of the Artificer. So, could be in decent shape. Yeah, I still think Caleb got the worst out of this. Walnut Woods is a nice grab, but there's not a lot of gem income here. There is a lot of income, which can be useful on its own for scaling, especially here and here. Yeah, was it 4 gems in the cap? So, I mean, we'll see if Caleb gets the rest of this and how quickly that happens. In terms of Atlantis Agartha, this fort's well on its way to being cracked. Bountiful Land is still cracked. I think we're going to see another earthquake trap. Because why not? Why would you go in there and fight everything fair and square if you don't have to? Although, I forget about the last earthquake trap, but if Agartha does Rigor Mortis out of the Dracolich, I don't think there's a way around Rigor Mortis in the Sepulchrals. But you can probably get rid of a lot of the point buffs on the Sepulchrals by killing the other mages. Alright. And I think that's it. So, I think we've talked to death the diplomatic situation, so it's just kind of checking in on Caleb's progress, on man's progress, on Atlantis's progress, and then maybe a quick glance at the scaling. We see 5 fallen angels. So is that the scaling that Marignon wants to do? Let me pull them up really quick. Alright, so that's Blood 7 spell. I don't think we've seen... indications of blood 8 for 3 red seconds. Fallen Angels do have a dark fire sword, apparently, according to the inspector. Gives them armor piercing and slashing. So maybe that's his plan for killing the monolith, is fallen angels. Maybe throw a phoenix pyre on them and send them in, along with some other stuff, and see if you can't take that throne that way. I think that's a decent plan. Phoenix Pyre, Soul Vortex. You can also do Infernal Prison, if that's in Blood 7, or maybe if he gets to Blood 8. And potentially just send the monolith to hell. And when it's gone, all the other stuff disappears except the troops, because I don't think there's other magic leadership in the army. You still might have to deal with the Kithronic Lions, which are a pain. But yeah, I mean, that seems like a decent plan. So maybe we're angling for the Throne Rush still. This looks like a contingent of troops maybe heading north, maybe trying to position closer to Glen of Justice. He is blood hunting this, but I think slowly sending troops north, because you want an army that can take Glen of Justice, I presume. And Packwoods. And the Weald all at once, if you were to Throne Rush. But I still haven't seen what he would do for Packwoods. Could sneak a bunch of Bakemono on too. But I don't know what he would put on there that could fight off this Atlantis army, at least yet. Maybe the Virtue could, with a screening force of, I don't know, devils or whatever. Put up Firestorm. You try to take out the Atlantis army using Firestorm. Firestorm and Wrathful Skies, that could be a combo. But we'll just have to wait and see. And I will see you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Bye.